Hello, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to the FrameRate Podcast, Episode 4. I am your host for this episode, Juby Scott Gaming. And with the two people I have here today is Morguir. He is finally back after being absent from the last episode. Morguir.
Hello.
And then we also have a new face. And let me pull up his Discord and give you guys his full name. Sir Gaius Newton, comma, the Pope.
Hello, I am here.
So we brought a couple faces, and just to clarify everything, no, nobody was voted off of last show. Even though I said that, they're not all gone. They're just not here for this episode. You'll never see Shrimp again, though. That's fine.
GG.
So what we want to do today is I didn't want anyone to think that we're just a For Honor only podcast, hence the name change. So we are branching out this time and talking about something pretty near and dear to us. So, this came up when we all three of us actually, went and saw Godzilla vs. Kong. And something came up in my head because I heard that apparently there was going to be a mobile game. Yes, I know mobile. A mobile game for Godzilla vs. Kong. We have no idea what it was because it was scrapped really early. But then something came up to me. We haven't had any monster fighting games in a long time. Godzilla 2014 does not count. Let me rephrase that then. Good fighting games. So we have Go ahead.
I wasn't laughing because of you saying that. I was laughing because it's true.
Oh yeah. As much as I love playing it, the only reason I play it is because it's the only recent Godzilla game we've gotten. If I look at my notes right here, because obviously we're going to talk about Godzilla, because he was one of the biggest stars of it. The last Godzilla game to come out was Godzilla Unleashed, and that came out in 2007! It's been that long!
It's really fucking old.
So,
Didn't even have that much.
So, why I wanted to bring this up is we're going to talk about three things. How were the fighting games back then? Were they really as good as we thought? What the hell happened to all of them? And basically, what are our personal thoughts of seeing future monster fighting games? Will they come back? So, let's go around the table first and just talk about some games that we've all played. I talked enough already. We're already at 3 minutes. Gaius, go ahead and tell us about some of them and just give us a quick thought of what you thought of them.
It's been forever since I've last played one. I would have to say, I think a real monster game, I would have to say would be when I was 12 at the oldest. And I believe it was Morg mentioned it before we started the podcast. It was War of the Monsters, I believe, the PS2 one. And I don't remember a whole lot about it. I remember having a lot of fun, but I remember also being dog shit, as most 12-year-olds are. The one I do remember the most that was Rampage. I have clocked in so many hours into that game. I would go to arcades specifically to play it, and they had a PC port, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I believe you can easily get it on your PC. I don't know if
I'm sure
they re-released it for the PS4, so
I'm sure somebody pirated it or something but I would definitely love to play it on the PC, but oh boy, that game, so fucking good.
So you're mentioning Rampage. Now, are you talking about the original 2 or
I mean,
Ultimate Destruction?
The original.
So you're talking the 2D side scroller.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Total Destruction, which was a 3D? It was like a 2.5D on the GameCube.
I remember it. I don't think I never owned it, but I probably played it off of a friend or whatever, because I was that kid that always borrowed other people's games.
Well, for anyone, for just a quick refresher, it was literally the old games just upgraded. That's it. It wasn't the craziest thing ever. I personally owned it on the GameCube, and I do remember it fairly well because it was the only monster game I had on the GameCube at that time.
I'm looking through the list of Rampage games right now, and I see that the only time that anything really changed between it was the 2000 Rampage Through Time, where they added a new character, and that is it.
I will say it had a lot of characters in the GameCube version.
Oh yeah.
I think in the original it was just Monkey, Wolf, and Lizard Boy, it looks like.
Monkey supremacy in that game only.
And
Yeah.
I was going to say in that game only, but we won't talk about that. Oh, funny.
I am Moth supremacy gang.
Morguir, what about you? Do you have fond memories of monster fighting games?
I remember, again, probably around the same age that Gaius is mentioning. I remember playing Godzilla, I believe it was Destroy All Monsters Melee?
Yep.
Something, I think it was that one.
There's
because
3 of them, so it's got to be one of
Yeah,
them.
there's 3. It's one of them. But specifically the Destroy All Monsters Melee. That's the one in the title, I believe. But I remember playing it like really a long time after it came out, because in 2002 I was like a year old. So yeah, I played it like, you know how I said that I in one of the previous things I beat Dark Souls 2 in like when I was 16.
Yep.
Destroy All Monsters was one of the games that I played but never like really, it wasn't as good as I remember it being, so I kind of dropped it after a little while. I always used to play as Destroya.
I will say, I'm right there with you with this game. I remember Destroy All Monsters Melee personally because it was one of the last GameCube games I owned, and I remember this game being fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like that last fight was god. Oh my god!
Never beat that. I never beat it.
So to fully beat it, you had to beat the campaign on with every single monster. And I don't remember what monster. It was like 14 or 7 monsters in there. And there was just one monster I was playing. It was god awful. Let's just say there was no balancing in that game.
Okay, so there were 12 monsters. 12 for the Xbox exclusive version. And then there were 11 for the GameCube version. And I feel like the one that you're talking about was probably Orga.
Orga was in that game? Well, there's my answer. I didn't actually know Orga was in that. I remember Orga was in Unleashed. So
yeah, he was in Unleashed. He was in all of them.
Really?
Yeah, he was in Unleashed Double Smash, Godzilla Unleashed, Godzilla Save the Earth, and Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee.
Interesting. That's awesome to hear, since he only had one fucking movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good thing to hear from you. For me, the majority of the games we're going to talk about today, I actually have really good memories of. All the Godzilla games I really enjoyed. Save the Earth, unfortunately, was the one that I least played because I actually never owned it. I only went to my neighbor's house, and once he moved away, he took the game. But I remember that one being the best out of the 3, and what I've done for research, yes, I actually did research, holy shit. That was the best Godzilla game released. Godzilla Unleashed, I also remember playing a fuck ton because I actually owned it, and it was on I actually played it on the PS3 because it was backwards compatible. The Rampage games, of course, I do remember. It was never really my personal favorite, just because I wanted to beat other monsters. In that game, you mostly just,
shit on everything.
Yeah,
else,
everything else.
Yeah.
What else? Let me move that. Another good one for all you nostalgia fans out there, and this one's at our local arcade, which is why I was shocked that I didn't remember it. Primal Rage, the monster fighting MK ripoff.
Yeah.
Can you please go play that?
Yeah, let's just go play it real quick.
We'll get back to you.
We'll talk about that one. And then we have a couple other games I'm not going to mention right now just because I don't want anyone to be confused about the topic. Just to reference, don't worry, we're going to strictly stick to monster fighting games. So, why don't we start with probably the oldest one, and let's talk about the Rampage series. So, essentially, just to give everyone an idea, yeah, you basically went around on this 2D platform and just destroyed buildings. Not really any monster fighting, but we wanted to include it because it was one of the first monster-controlled games. So we wanted to just bring it up and bring up your nostalgia.
That, and also like it sort of encapsulated like old monster movies to a T,
Yeah,
Mhm.
which
because
was just humans fighting monsters getting absolutely shit on.
what's I think I'm having a hard time remembering, but I believe there was a Godzilla movie that was actually released right around the same time as the first Rampage game,
First
uh,
Rampage game came out in
1986.
1986, so that means the Heisei era of Godzilla was beginning.
I believe that one, yeah.
Yep.
Uh, so I've seen those movies, so yeah, comparing it to what the Rampage games were, the 1986 one, and comparing it to that like set of movies that kind of came like around the same time. Yeah, it was pretty much encapsulating what the whole monster movie thing was at the time.
I
Just pretty much
agree.
just break shit.
Speaking of Rampage, did you guys ever see the Rampage movie?
I've
Oh
heard
no,
bad
I
things.
it was at the time
It
period where like a
was
lot of
alright.
cringy gaming movies were coming out, so I was
It
like,
was
I'm not.
alright. I actually
I'll,
Alright
enjoyed it and
does
was
not
kind of
mean it
hoping
was
for a
good.
sequel. Well, they got my favorite in there. My favorite character from Rampage is Croc. And
Mm,
the way they treated Croc in that movie, mwah. He didn't look anything like the original material, but he was a
it worked.
fucking monster. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Wow, so I'm the only one that saw that movie. Damn, I was the only one excited apparently. You guys
Yeah,
didn't
I'm
want to see
sorry.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson talking to a white monkey?
No.
no, listen, wasn't there like a really shitty like fucking movie about games that came out like a year before that?
About games that came out. You talking about Ready Player One?
No, it was like I think Pixel or whatever.
Oh
Pixels?
no,
Yeah, that was the
stop.
movie.
Stop. No.
So
I've never
yeah,
seen it and I never will.
What's sad is that critics say that that's one of the best video game movies, and I have to horribly disagree.
yeah,
Well,
so it was
technically, I'm just gonna say this: Godzilla has video games. Godzilla has movies. You could technically say Godzilla has the best video game movies.
yeah,
Yes.
that's what I was saying. Like I'm dog, not gonna lie, I don't think I'm all up for watching a video game movie.
So, because that one, because Rampage doesn't actually have any monster v monster fighting, let us move on to the next one. We're not gonna go down every single monster movie. We're only going to ones that we fondly remember, or one of us fondly remembers. The next one
Yeah.
on my list, I would have to say, is Primal Rage.
Oh yeah.
And of course, everyone loves Primal Rage because dinosaurs and giant monkey is shitting and farting on you to kill you.
Very
Um,
nice.
I will tell you right now, I could never fucking get good at this game. But then again, I never got good at any of the old Mortal Kombats either. But I
Mm,
remember this game fondly for the blood and the fucking dinosaur fighting as a giant T Rex against a monkey.
yes.
What do you guys think of this one?
I never really played it, but
I completely forgot about it until now. I did like it, but it doesn't really have a lot of memorable moments for me.
I will say that this game wasn't really the best thing out there when it came out. Obviously, MK was still holding that, but the reason we're putting it on is because it's one of the first that we can remember. Just want to always add that monster fighting games that came out around this time. And this was a 2D, Mortal Kombat fighting style. So it's very interesting that we jumped right into the MK ripoff when it comes to our timeline of monster fighting games. So this kind of kicked it off like, hey, let's get monsters and beat the shit out of each other. And this is what got me into like, ooh, I wonder if there's more monster fighting games.
Hmm.
So we're gonna jump to one that we all fondly remember. We're gonna talk about the meat of this episode, the Godzilla fighting games. All three, so Destroy All Monsters Melee, Save the Earth, and Unleash. We're gonna go into those. Just want to mention that, fun fact, I watched a video on this, and the video was super good. It's on YouTube if you just search up the Godzilla fighting games. It's the first one that comes up.
Yeah.
It was developed by Pipeworks Studios. Fun fact, they developed every single Godzilla game for this series, this little trilogy. And
That's interesting.
the publishers were none other than Atari.
Oh, what the fuck, dudes?
Nice.
So it says Atari, but it was technically another branch of Atari called Atari SA. I don't remember what the SA stands for, but they were something. Either way, it was Atari, but it wasn't. So it wasn't the Atari we all loved. It was some weird ripoff. Hang
It was
on.
probably like a subsidiary or whatever.
Atari
like
SA is a
handled-
French video game company. That's it.
It might be like how Ubisoft has like Ubisoft Montreal.
Exactly. I think that's what it is.
It might
Just
be
other
like
branches.
yeah, it might just be a branch.
So
It's actually, it was formerly known as Infogrames Entertainment SA, and then Infogrames purchased Atari Inc., and then it became Atari SA.
huh, interesting.
Yeah,
So-
weird.
All right, so first off, I want to talk about one thing I remember from this game, the intro. It's a fucking alien announcing they're gonna come kill you all or dominate the world. And I don't know what it is. It was just very interesting, especially when he thinks he's done. He just sits there. And then he just turns to his side and goes, am I still on? So, there was some comedy in this game. It's funny. You're going into a Godzilla game. You didn't think you were going to have a funny alien. So, yeah, there was not really there was a little bit of a story. Hey, we're going to come... We're coming to invade. We control all the monsters except for that one monster you play as. That's really it. So your monster has to go and kick everyone else's ass. And if you watch any of the old Godzilla movies, that's not really super easy to do unless it's Godzilla Final Wars, which Godzilla did kill everyone. But yeah, that's basically what's the plot. And then you kill them all, and then the aliens just leave. They're just gone. They're just like, bye.
Peace out.
So that was basically the plot. Now, when it comes to the gameplay, what do you guys think of the gameplay?
Pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I think, like most games, there's obviously for the time that it was a little, I want to say sluggish. But again, that's how games were back then, so I can't really complain about that.
I will say this when you say that. This is one of the first kind of arena fighters, especially for Godzilla. This is definitely one of the first ones. So it makes sense. Yep, they're going into this area and just figuring out what the hell they're doing.
Yeah. Like I said, I can't really complain about the speed of it because it was like one of the very early renditions of it. So, other than the speed, I believe there was actually a bug that used to come up in it where you couldn't use your specials or whatever the heck they were.
Really?
If you like got knocked down or something.
I did not know that.
I believe there was. It was either that game or one of the other Godzilla fighting games that if you got knocked down by your opponent's special, you couldn't use your specials for the rest of the fight. And it wasn't like some sub thing that the move actually did, because it would happen with any opponent you faced.
Interesting.
So that gameplay kind of, it in general it gets like an 8 for me, but including the bugs and stuff, it was kind of like a 7 or 6.
So I will say this because I actually did the research for this. When it came to this game, this is actually not considered the worst one out of the trilogy. The worst one out of the trilogy might actually shock you. It shocked me when I learned it. But basically, yeah, this game was just basically, hey, everyone has a punch attack. Everyone has a kick attack. Everyone has a stomp attack. Everyone can shoot their fire breath. Everyone has a gauge meter, a health meter, etc. It was very, very generic. But, like I said, it was the first Godzilla, like, arena fighting game that we can recall. So what it had going was still good. I will say this, though, for any Godzilla nerds out there, the end boss is Mechagodzilla, but it's not Mechagodzilla 1. It's Mechagodzilla 2, who was a fucking good guy.
Oh.
That was actually controlled by the humans. So it's funny that they made him the enemy, but not Mechagodzilla 1. So, I just always thought that was funny. So there was a bunch of other monsters. All the pretty popular monsters were in this game. The only one I question is Megalon. Megalon had one movie, but apparently they really wanted to put Megalon in this game, but they didn't put like Jet Jaguar. They put King Ghidorah and Mecha King Ghidorah. It's like, bruh.
Very, very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Nice.
I'm just looking at, is there playable monsters? Yeah. So they put all the generics. They put both Godzilla versions. They put Godzilla 2000 and Godzilla the Showa Godzilla. Heisei is the original. So yeah, and then it's funny because both Godzillas, by the way, play exactly the same. Nothing special about them. Exactly the same. It was a copy and paste.
It was just a skin change, pretty much.
Yep. So what I find funny about this game is that, so yeah, I told you guys Mechagodzilla, who was the bad guy, isn't in this, but Mechagodzilla 2 and Kiryu, I can never say it right, Kiryu. Yeah, Type 3 Kiryu was in this game as well, but not the original Mechagodzilla. Destroyer was also in this game and was not the main villain for some reason.
Yeah.
In fact, Destroyer wasn't even in the story unless you ran into him.
Yeah. 'Cause I believe
Another.
they did have the random encounter thing.
Yep. Oh, it was all random. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, since we have a Mothra fanboy in here, I want to mention that Mothra is also not in this game. But
Yeah,
Mothra was
sad.
a power-up. It was a purple Mothra airstrike power-up. Once summoned, Mothra attacks opponents of whoever summoned it with her antenna beams. She can be forced to leave prematurely if hit by a beam. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all
it's
you
a
got of
very-
Mothra.
That's it.
It's a very odd decision. Like at that point, might as well just add Mothra.
Yeah, why did Megalon get chosen before Mothra? Megalon was in one movie. Another thing, Hedorah is actually, fun fact, Hedorah was also in the game. Appears randomly. But you couldn't play him.
But he appeared randomly.
If Hedorah flies over a monster, their energy regeneration will be slowed down. That's all he did. He did nothing else.
There's a
They
pain in my
did,
skull.
fun fact, they did try to put Jet Jaguar in there, but Toho denied the request.
That
we got
sucks.
some funny shit to talk about when we get to the next game with Jet Jaguar. Don't worry, it's good. Yeah. So, any other things about this game? You already gave a rank Morguir, so I'll quickly give one. Overall, like I said, I think this was like the second best game to come out of it. Of course, there was stuff they needed to improve. I don't think there was a block in this one. No, there was. There's a block in all of them. But
Yeah.
one unique thing they had is you could block down. So you could crouch and block, like in Mortal Kombat, which was
Yeah.
pretty unique for a monster
yeah.
fighting
Yeah,
game.
monster game. Yeah.
I also heard, apparently, and because, the reason we're talking about this is because of Godzilla vs. Kong. Apparently they did want King Kong in these games. But they could not get the rights. And it was a really bad copyright battle. And I don't remember who versus who, but I remember, they wanted Kong in here. They did. But, other than that, so, in my opinion, it's the second best. That's all I really have to say. Gaius?
I don't know. I think I'd have to agree. I like. Not. For me personally, monster games haven't always been super memorable,
Mm-hmm.
but from what I can remember, I would say yes.
That's what we're all
probably.
going off. We're all going off by memory. I have not played any of these since I was a kid.
Yeah, this reminds me.
literally.
I gotta play more, but like
It's been at
it's
least
hard.
It's been a
Is
decade.
it- Yeah, it's also especially hard to get one on PC
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm not buying a console to.
Well, I will say this: if you do want to play, we're not there yet, but if you do want to play Godzilla Unleashed, it has basically someone put it on the PC, but it's still got a little bit of its Wii motion controls in it. So just don't try to play Godzilla Unleashed on PC. Just don't. That's my little warning. So, okay. With that being said, we're gonna go into the one that I least remember, but thank God I watched the documentary video, and we are gonna go into Godzilla Saved the Earth. What I want to say about this one is that this one was considered the best out of the trilogy. So you can kind of narrow down where we're going with this. This one improved gameplay mechanics. There was one thing I wanted to mention in Destroy All Monsters. Sorry, I forgot to mention it. Some characters could fly. Gigan had a teleport. Didn't really work. But some characters could fly, and I just want to say, Rodan was a fucking meme. Rodan, so King Ghidorah Destroyer, excuse me, sorry.
Oh shit, that's right, he exists.
Yeah. What are you, legendary? So Ghidorah, Mecha, Destroyer could all fly. Even Megalon could fly. I keep forgetting he's a giant beetle. They would all like hover, and then they could slowly fly around. It was kind of useless because the second you got hit, you fell. Rodan, he got in the air and he fucking went woo. He's gone. He gone.
He's just fucking out of there.
But the way he flew, it was like you just took a statue figurine of him, an action figure, and you're just holding it, no flapping of the wings, no nothing. And like I said, he couldn't do anything in the air, I think. I'm fairly certain it was just to travel. Well, you're in an arena fighter. You're not going anywhere. And if you hit him, he's out. He's gone. He's falling down. So I just wanted to mention that because that's important so with Godzilla Save the Earth, we'll finally go back to that, sorry. They basically took Destroy All Monsters and beat the shit out of it until a good game came out. Godzilla Saved the Earth. Now, Godzilla... Oh, sorry. I was looking for the wiki. So Godzilla Saved the Earth basically took everything that we talked about and made it better. If you were laying down on the ground, there was actually no way to protect yourself. You were basically just gonna die if you didn't get up. This game added an attack move so you can like knock them out. They improved the throw distance for the characters. So in Destroy All Monsters, they if you hit someone like uppercutted them, they fucking went flying. Like you're going across the map. They improved that to be more realistic in this game. And overall, this game came out in 2004, and it was just a better Destroy All Monsters. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Ironically enough, it's a sequel, and I love that.
This is considered a sequel in this trilogy. Completely different story, I believe. No, actually, I think these two are together.
It takes place 2 years after Destroy All Monsters Melee.
Wow, so there
it's
is.
The same timeline.
Yep, two plays.
Talking about Vortak. This one's talking about a race of aliens threatening to destroy the planet.
The story involves mankind getting hold of Godzilla's DNA, known in the game as G-Cells. G-Cells! No! Godzilla's approaching the generator! Sorry, that's just a Godzilla 2014 joke. Oh! This is where it came from!
Oh, now that's in the timeline.
So, basically, they added new monsters. They added Space Godzilla, which I was very happy about. I am a huge Space Godzilla fan. As much as everyone hates him, he was one of the most powerful people Godzilla fought. The fucker stole his kid, alright? But yeah, so Space Godzilla was added. Baragon was added, and Baragon was pretty unique. We'll get to that. Our boy Jet Jaguar was added. Now, let me tell you why Jet Jaguar is a meme. Pipeworks kept trying to add Jet Jaguar into Destroy All Monsters. They kept requesting it. Well, they kept denying it. So you know what they did? They put Jet Jaguar in and didn't tell Toho.
Oh, no.
And when the game was released, it wasn't like Toho was going to be like, bring it back. You wasted all our money. No, they're like, okay, he's in the game now. So, they completely broke copyright.
They broke copyright, but
They got
Toho
away
was
with it.
fine.
Yep. Mega Gears was also added. Once again, a one-off monster, and it was just a angrier Mothra.
Yeah.
Morguir, my favorite human robot, Morguir was added because Morguir is a fucking meme. Don't at me. Gaius, you'll be happy to hear Mothra was added.
Let's fucking go. My boy's fucking getting its attention.
My boy. And then obviously Space Godzilla. Biolante was actually going to be included in the game. She was fully programmed. If you actually look into the files, you can unlock Biolante. She was fully created and ready to go. The only reason she was cut was due to licensing reasons. And I will say this. What's funny about Biolante is that, and I hate to bring it up, but Biolante in this game plays exactly like in Godzilla 2014. So that game is even lazier!
Disturbing.
So anyway,
Biolante was one of my favorites for a while.
so they added fucking 7 new monsters, which is fucking insane. These units were These monsters were pretty unique to this game. Everyone else kind of played the same. You know, they got some quality of life changes, updates, and all that. Baragon was unique because Baragon did not have a charged up breath attack. He actually could run around. He only had a little fire burp, but he could use it on the move, which is pretty good.
That was the biggest threat that I used Baragon for a while when I actually got to play the. It's just like fucking, hey, I'm running around. It was fun.
Like I said, this is the one that I least played, so if you guys have stuff to add, please feel free. I'm just going off what I remember from the video and this game.
I know that in Godzilla Save the Earth, I mainly played as Destroyer when I could, and I don't remember why, because I'm pretty sure he was just a fucking copy paste that kind of sucked.
You just like the dildo blade out of his head. You like his unicorn horn.
It'd be like that.
It made me laugh. I know Orga, again, was one of the fucking hardest people to play as because of that one fucking thing he could do.
Do you remember what he could do?
No, I don't, because it wasn't all that beneficial.
You need to get aggressive about it, damn. Do you remember? No, I don't, Juby! Back up!
What did he do?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I'm gonna find out.
You're gonna look up his moveset real quick.
Yep.
Jet Jaguar was another unique one. Jet Jaguar never had a beam attack, so he could shrink and grow. I don't know what the shrinking did, but I know the growing would increase his damage. That's all I remember.
I have discovered the character list for that game.
Nice.
And yeah, he had such shitty. His thing was Sonic Roar. It didn't do anything. Like at all.
Why did you hate it so much?
Because it didn't do anything. Wait,
oh,
no, that's
so
in
when
here.
you played
this is in alphabetical. Hold on. We were talking about Orga, right? Because I just realized that I was looking at the wrong fucking person.
No, we were talking about Jet Jaguar. We were about to go up to Mega Gyrus.
His thing was shoulder cannon overload for his rage attack.
Yep.
And literally, if they took a singular step to the side, it would not hit.
Very nice.
So it had horrible tracking.
It had such bad tracking. Even if it looked like it hit you dead on, if you so much as moved, like slightly, it would not make contact.
Alright. So I can see now why the hate.
The only thing that he had that was good about him, well, there were two things. There was his paralyzing goo, which was like, what the fuck? And then there was his absorb essence, which let him steal just a tiny little bit of your health.
Well, it's funny you mentioned stealing a tiny bit of health because the next character we're talking about is Mega Gyrus. Mega Gyrus could not regenerate health slowly, but she had two ways of stealing your health. She had a life force steal. It was her grapple move and something else that I don't recall. But either way,
called health steal.
Yeah. Either way, she was able to steal your health, and that was her unique thing. Now.
Yeah, it says here that she had mostly energy stealing things. Like she had energy parasite, where
maybe it's
tail
energy then that I'm
steal
thinking.
A bar of energy. Health steal was you stole just some health, and then energy steal was an actual move that would steal energy from your opponent.
Well, speaking of energy from an opponent, wow, these are leading up to the next hero really fucking well, just saying.
Yes.
Morguir. And the reason I think he's a meme is because according to the video I watched, apparently Morguir had like no melee, and I do remember that. Morguir had shit melee.
Oh yeah, there's like nothing in his melee lists, but
But hang on, let me get to this.
Yep.
He had like he didn't have good range, but he had a lot of range options. Now,
Yeah.
what was unique about Morguir, it wasn't the fact that he had no melee, basically. If he blocked your beam attack, he would gain energy back. And I think
Yep.
that's the only way he could gain energy.
that's
So you
called
have no
energy
melee.
absorbing armor.
Yeah, you have no melee. You run out of energy, so you just run away and pray to God they shoot you with their fire beam.
Oh no, they don't even have to do that. It's just blocking a weapon attack.
Okay, so blocking anything, that's alright, but still, what the hell? Why did
Yeah.
you handicap a meme? And then
his big thing was that he had tremendous weakness to electricity.
please,
Because
Mechagodzilla.
he takes tremendous damage and knockback from electrical attacks.
That makes
The only
sense.
other thing that was good for him was his tread charge.
I remember that. Yeah, he just fucking yeets at
He
you.
fucking sped up.
Yep.
He
It's
beeps at you, starts whirring his fucking little treads, and then if you press it a couple more times, he whirs them even more. And then you can just completely cancel the move and start it all over again. It was so dumb, but I loved it.
So another, it makes sense that Morguir would be weak to electricity though, because if you watch Godzilla versus Space Godzilla, Space Godzilla fucks it up, and Space Godzilla's beam attack is electricity. So we're gonna go to Gaius' favorite. Gaius, do you remember playing Mothra?
No.
Oh Jesus! Then I will explain it again. I was just hoping Gaius would talk. Guys, let me know what you think about it at least. So, Mothra would originally start as a larva, which is fine. You have a weak ass fucking moveset. You have your silk.
The defense is pretty strong, though. It's the
Name
strongest
of the game is Survival.
But you could at any time, by the way. So, and you got to hear this next part. And this got nerfed in the next game because I remember this. Mothra, if you got her to low health and then she activated her cocoon, all her health is back.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
all of it.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you're about to win? Nah, cocoon.
Here's the deal with the larva version of Mothra. There are two things that ultimately nerfed the larva form. It's that Mothra and the larva can't enter the rage mode, which gave you the special shit.
Yep.
And instead it gave you health and energy. And the second thing was that larva Mothra can't block.
Oh my god, you're right. Yeah.
Literally, you couldn't get rage mode and you couldn't block.
But I could heal.
Yes.
I was gonna say, but he could get full
thing
health.
going for you.
So basically,
like-
what you would... Oh, go ahead.
So, like, basically what you're saying is survival is the name of the game. Slowly eat away at their health, and when I'm on low health, just, pull out of my ass a whole health bar.
You know what happens to Mothra when it gets to the Imago form.
Yes.
Do you know what the special abilities are?
I don't know what the special abilities are.
He said he didn't remember the game, Morguir.
No, I know. I was just trying to see if it would jog his memory reading the first things. First off, there's still a debuff there, but it's not a bad debuff because still can't enter rage mode, but you get health and energy. But the wicked thing that made Mothra kind of overpowered was that you could reflect weapon attacks.
Oh, shit.
Really? I don't remember that. That's sick.
Reflecting scales was
Dude,
the name of the thing.
Mothra supremacy. I'm just saying.
You could literally beat the game without attacking, just by having
God.
Mothra as an Imago.
That's the ultimate fucking, troll character.
It doesn't say nullifies weapon attacks. It says reflect.
Which means if I could just, get good.
Yeah.
I will say this, in the video I watched, it did say that her defense is lowered, though, when she goes in the Mothra form.
Yeah, it drops by 1 on the scale.
I mean, yeah.
That's it? I thought it was
5.
dramatically.
On the scale of 8, Larva has 5, Mothra has 4.
That's it?
Yes,
I thought it
that's
was a dramatic, if you switch to
here's
Mothra, you're desperate.
Here's the other thing. What also made the larva version of Mothra really weak was they have it doesn't make them weak, it makes them overpowered, is that they resist pretty much everything.
Oh
The
my
thing that
god.
makes the cocooned Mothra or the fully like Mothra like weaker and have less defense, as you would say, is that it only resists radiation. It loses all its
Mm,
resistances,
mm.
and that's pretty
Mothra.
much what kills it there. But you can
Mothra.
reflect shit.
Mothra supremacy.
So yeah, Mothra
Literally,
came in with a big bang.
Mothra's other thing was that they had a move called Cry for Peace, and it stuns your opponent.
Let's fucking go.
So you can stun and reflect, and it was fucking broken.
Oh
Remember,
man, I love
guys, this was considered the best game too.
Yeah.
I love Mothra. I love Mothra so goddamn much.
So the next character, my favorite boy, Space Godzilla, he was also added. He was the main villain. And his special thing was obviously his crystals, if you've seen his movie. So basically, what these crystals did, I never knew this as a kid actually, because, dumb. But apparently the crystals would constantly give him energy because his melee was actually pretty garbage. His melee in every Godzilla game has been garbage. Oh my god, the 2014 one.
Terrible.
I wish I could play as Space Godzilla, but I can't in that game. It's so bad.
His melee is so like basic, and his attack is so pathetic.
But where he succeeds is his range shit.
His weapon attacks are where he succeeds. Yeah.
So once he summons those crystals, that slowly regenerates his energy.
Oh, and you can force it to go faster.
Yep. So basically, Space Godzilla wanted you to stay the fuck away, and he'll kick your ass.
Fuck. I'm reading through his whole move set right here, and he has 3 things that that immediately make him broken. The first is crystal synthesis, where he can generate crystals. Second thing is crystal absorption, which he destroys all crystals and regains health. And the third thing is crystal resonance, which increases the energy gain rate.
Damn.
So he gains energy faster, which means he can generate more crystals, which means he can destroy them and heal more. He's basically invulnerable.
Remember, this was the villain, so I mean, it makes sense that he's gonna have some weird shit.
Oh yeah.
Overall, the critic reviews, it's a monster fighting game. It had more of a story. It improved the combat. It added in new heroes. It added Mothra, so I know that means automatically 10 out of 10 for guys. I know. Basically,
Yes.
So what's funny about the way this game ended is that fucking Godzilla blasts off one of Shin Godzilla, I wish. Space Godzilla's shoulder crystals, causing a fucking black hole to form, and it sucks in only Space Godzilla. Doesn't kill a black hole right next to Earth. Nope, not gonna do anything. Science is
Not
wrong.
doing nothing.
Dude,
And it only
okay.
kills him.
Okay, answer me this. If science is so cool, why can't it help me do a pull-up?
Shut up, I'm done. I'm leaving.
Oh man.
Um,
Wait, hold on a minute.
by the way, the name of the alien race is Vortak.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of cringe, not gonna lie.
I mean,
really
the
fucking
aliens
dumb.
in all the Godzilla movies have always been
Wait a
cringe.
minute.
What?
Hold on. Kiryu is Mechagodzilla 3.
Yeah.
I did not remember that.
They called it Kiryu because they're like, we can't call this thing Mechagodzilla again. Speaking of Mechagodzilla, Mechagodzilla 1 is still not in here, but Mechagodzilla 2 is.
Yeah, and he's kind of crap.
That's the funny part. Still no regular Mechagodzilla. Well, at least we got him in the new movie.
Here's what I find funny.
What?
King Ghidorah, compared to Mecha King Ghidorah, the only real stat change is that Mecha King Ghidorah has more weapon.
See,
They're
as
the
much as I
exact same
love,
character.
yeah, in these games, and I always knew this, as much as I love King Ghidorah, yeah, Space Godzilla is my personal favorite. King Ghidorah is my second, especially in the Legendary verse. There was never a difference. It was basically, do I want a metal head or do I not want a metal head?
Yeah.
They actually really, and I can't believe I'm going to give this game props, but in the 2014 game, they actually did make Mecha King Ghidorah slightly different from King Ghidorah. If you watch the actual movie from the Showa era, They actually Mecha King Ghidorah actually has like tools. You know, that shiny piece of metal isn't just for laughs. It actually has equipment, and you can actually use that in the 2014 game. And I'm like, all right, decent.
Oh,
That's
I
it,
see
though.
what made him. I see what made Mecha King Ghidorah more fucking broken than regular King Ghidorah.
Go
His
on.
rage attack was invincibility.
Heck, fucking excuse me.
It literally just says invincibility.
So for anyone,
Very nice.
So for anyone who doesn't know, the rage mode is basically it's a random power up. There were random power ups in this game. They were all basically generic, health, damage, etc. But there was one rage, which sent your monster into rage, doing whatever their rage ability is. Destroyer did more damage. Apparently, Mecha King Ghidorah went into God. Space Godzilla has basically infinite energy, I believe. Just stuff like that.
No,
so
his rage attack was Crystal Prison.
I thought you were gonna say increased melee. I was gonna kill someone.
Nah, Crystal Prison. I think it makes it so that your enemy can't move,
Interesting.
or it stuns or something. I don't know.
But it's stuff like that. It was basically your ultimate in any other fighting game. So, Godzilla Saved the Earth. It's funny. The game that I least remember, thanks to that video I watched, is one of our longest talked ones so far. What do you guys think? I agree with even though I only got to play this so little, I agree that this one was definitely considered the best.
Oh, it was better for sure.
This is the one where Mothra Supremacy, right?
Yes.
If you haven't moved on, okay. If it is, then yes, number one, Mothra Supremacy.
Number one, Mothra Supremacy.
Bruh.
Because Mothra basically becomes a god.
Yes, Mothra always was.
I was gonna say always was a god. What do you mean?
So far, according to the move lists, there are 3 gods.
Wait, Mothra is a god? Always has been.
There are 3
Alright.
gods in that game, so I'm kind of like, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah.
I'll take Mothra.
That's still number 1 for mine.
So, I'm glad everybody's having a good time. You know, everyone's enjoying Godzilla Save the Earth. We all enjoyed Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. Not anymore! Everyone gets sad right now! We're going to Godzilla Unleashed.
I'm sad.
So, why are we making a big deal out of this game? Well, for starters, its main platform was the Wii, which is just horrible. Should not be a thing. So you already know right there, there's an issue.
The other problem, I think, was that there were PS2 exclusive characters and Wii exclusive
I was
characters.
gonna say, yes, for some reason each console had exclusive fucking characters.
So it was basically 2 separate games with the same story.
Yep. Also, just want to say that Space Godzilla, you know how he apparently died in the last one?
Mm-hmm.
Not anymore! He's the main villain again.
Yeah, not anymore.
And you don't know that until the very end, so you're fighting all these other monsters, and then all of a sudden in the cutscene it's like, what's happening in New York? There's crystals forming all around the world. Once I heard that, I'm like, oh, they did.
God dang it.
And as much remember, I'm still a Space Godzilla huge fan, but like, he has so many other enemies. Mecha Godzilla 1! By the way, he's in this game now. They figured out how to count to 1. I will say this about this game. This game, holy fuck, a lot of fucking monsters. I almost said characters.
Oh.
It had the former has 26 playable monsters. Now remember, in total there were 26. So you always got the standard 20, but depending on what platform you got on, you got whoever else.
Just making this a note here. Mechagodzilla was one of the Wii exclusives. Mechagodzilla 1 was.
I hate how there's even fucking exclusive characters for console.
There really shouldn't be.
Like, what the who decided?
Why?
That?
Why bother?
It's a whole lot of fucking work.
It's so much easier just to put
Who
them all
would
into the
buy
same
a
game.
monster fighting game on the fucking Wii? That's a very good question.
Well, I
Same
remember
people who
seeing
play Transformers.
I remember seeing ads for this. And I do remember seeing the Wii ad, but then I saw there was a PlayStation 2 version. I'm like, oh, thank God. So I got this on PlayStation 2. What's unique about this game is that Toho, in the established Toho, Pipeworks Studios actually made 2 original characters for this game. One of them was the lava-based Obsidious, which was
Yeah, I
basically
see
just Orga but on fire.
I
And there was another one,
Crystalak?
Crystalac, which was basically King Caesar but crystals. So
Mhm.
Caesar based.
I was gonna
Caesar,
say,
rock
yep, King
based.
Caesar is in this game, which is kind of amazing. So just to show you everyone that was in this game, I'll quickly go. Anguirus, Baragon, Rodan, Godzilla 1954, we only. Godzilla 1990s, only on the PS2. Godzilla 2000, and King Caesar, which I did not have because he was we only. Oh no! Oh, nope, you're okay. Mothra was everywhere. Varan, I don't
Nice.
even know who Varan is, but that is also
I
we
will
only.
look him up.
Oh, there's an image. Oh, that basically was a weaker Godzilla.
Oh,
the
Varan, that's right.
the other heroes were Jet Jaguar is back, King Giru, yep, okay. Kiru,
Kiru.
Mechagodzilla 2, Mecha King Ghidorah, and Morguir. The next list.
Oh,
So basically, this game split up its heroes. So the story was always the same, but you could do it from different sides. So there was the Earth Defenders, there was the Global Defense Force, the humans. You could actually be on the side of the aliens to get a different ending. And then there was the mutants that were just driven for the lust of power. That's it. Nothing else.
Oh.
The next
I
thing.
do have a quick thing to mention since
What's
we
up?
mentioned Varan. Varan made an appearance in Godzilla vs. Kong.
He did?
Yes, he did. You know
Where?
that giant lizard
Oh.
thing when they were in the thingy,
No, I don't. Well, you
the
can't call it the
hollow.
thingy.
Okay,
Hollow
when they were in the
Earth?
Hollow Earth, this is spoilers. When they were in Hollow Earth and following Kong, or it was either when they were following
Yeah,
Kong or when they
they
were
made a
fighting the
cameo
things.
in Dream of the
Yeah.
Oh, when,
He popped out and ate
oh,
one of the pods.
yeah.
So that lizard thing that just kind of
I thought it
popped
was
out of
one of the
nowhere, and we
flying
were like,
things
"Oh,
that
what
ate
the
the
hell?"
pods.
The
What?
thing that ate the pod was Varan,
Interesting.
because
Anyway,
he's based off of Komodo dragons, and the thing that ate the pod looked like a large Komodo dragon, pretty much.
Jesus, what a dumb cameo, if that's
It's a
true.
dumb cameo.
So the next list is the Global Defense Force. This is the humans, Jet Jaguar, Kiru. I already read that. Sorry. The aliens. So if you want to play the bad guy, it was Gigan, King Ghidorah, Mecha Godzilla 1. We only. What?
Yeah,
And Orga. Orga was back.
and Megalon.
Megalon? Oh yeah, I missed
Yeah.
Megalon. My bad. And so
I
yeah,
have a little. I apparently have a little more information on that list because there were specific versions of things. In the
You know what?
Wii exclusive, you got Millennium Gigan, Showa Gigan in the PS2, and then the same thing with King Ghidorah for the Wii and PS2 respectively.
Yep, you can get different skins, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
different
fucking dumb.
generations. What were you gonna say, guys?
You know what makes me really upset?
Why?
Megalon isn't a shark.
Yeah. Yeah, that causes me some
That-
pain.
That would have been a very nice, because that's like an IRL. It's like a real life fucking monster. The Megalodon
Yep.
shark. That would be a very easy thing to explain away too as a monster.
Sharkhead from DC just joins the battle.
Like I don't know, like it would just be super easy, and it would be cool to add into a movie, you know, like in like a future, you know, Godzilla movie, because like they Kong and Zilla fought at, you know, fucking boats and shit. You know, it'd be super easy to do.
Make
Godzilla versus
fight.
Megalodon.
Yeah.
I'm
That
fairly
would be a-
certain Godzilla would destroy it since Godzilla's over
Yeah,
500
but-
feet.
I mean, yeah, but you could just, I don't know, make it big.
Make it like Godzilla versus Zilla, just a 2-second fight.
Like, no, I mean, like you could just make it a bigger version of a Megalodon.
Yeah, all right,
things
you got
were-
some
yeah.
ideas.
Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
an
they
idea
made. I mean, how big was King Kong in the original movies?
Like
Oh, God.
not even like
Like
100
a
feet.
fucking manlet compared to Godzilla.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, you have to remember their excuse was he's still growing.
Yeah.
Guys,
So you could just
please.
say Megalodon was still growing. There you go. That's your
Anyway,
bullshit excuse.
let's get to the rest of the list. Speaking of Kong, this is the game. It wasn't all of them. Sorry, this was the game they wanted to put King Kong in. It was legal problems with Universal Studios, Now, for anyone that's seen the 1998 Godzilla, God bless your soul. Remember,
I saw
Toho bought
it.
the rights. Toho bought the rights to that monster and renamed it Zilla. Zilla was
Mm.
also considered to be in this game, but look at this. But was scrapped due to his overall negative reception.
Everybody hated it because it wasn't a Godzilla. It was a T-Rex with spikes
I know, and like
that
a
gave
weird
birth
fire
to
breath.
more T-Rexes with spikes.
Another monster. This is interesting. Monster X was considered. If anyone's seen Godzilla Final Wars, Monster X was the final enemy, and Monster X actually turned into Kaiser Ghidorah, which was the strongest Ghidorah we've ever seen. But was scrapped due to the transformation sequence into Kaiser Ghidorah being too complicated.
How?
Oh, I
Dude,
would've
you have
loved that.
Larva Mothra in
I know,
the
but you can't
previous
figure
game,
out Kaiser.
but you can't figure out
Dude.
Kaiser.
I'm just saying this, devs, Mothra fans, they are for Mothra supremacy.
Another monster that was considered for this game. Holy crap, Gamera!
Gamera?
Yeah!
Oh,
Oh shit.
It
fucking
was
Turtle
mentioned
Boy.
in an interview, but was not likely included since he was owned by Kadokawa. So,
Golly,
I want to
beast.
quickly mention the last of the monsters because I'm actually really upset by the last one I'm going to mention. So, the last faction was the mutants, Batra, PS2, Biolante, Wii only, of course, Destroya,
No.
Crystalic? I don't even know.
Crystalac, I believe.
Oh yeah, Crystalac, that's their made up one. We only, that explains why I never saw it. Megaguirus, Obsidius, Space Godzilla, and the last one that I would have loved to have played because I love its fucking roar, it's so annoying, Titanosaurus.
Yes,
Which was
I was.
we only!
Mm,
Why?
I
What?
don't like that the two that they made. This is slightly taking a step back. I don't like that Crystalac was Wii exclusive, but Obsidius wasn't PS2 exclusive.
Yeah, Obsidius. That's
Yeah,
alright,
you'd think that they would want to make
They
like their
made two
two.
original.
Yeah, you'd think they would make their like two OCs would be like separate.
on everything. Or, yeah, or one of each. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's like fucking
So,
Yeah,
didn't make sense.
It's like the old Pokemon games with like the Rayquaza and like specific.
Well, Groudon and Kyogre being separate games.
Yeah, like you have to buy a specific game to get a specific Pokemon, and then you could trade it.
Yeah.
Using by buying an extra Game Boy.
By buying an extra Game Boy and that stupid cable that everybody
Oh my
always
God.
lost.
GameSpot gave a review for this game, and they stated, Godzilla Unleashed is the worst thing to happen to Godzilla since getting killed by Mothra's babies.
Get-
Oh, that's so
Fuck.
bad.
Alright, the game wasn't that bad. What the
It
hell,
was
GameSpot?
bad. They just
I'm
hated
not
it.
gonna lie, pretty based, but that is also because they mentioned the fact that Godzilla.
Godzilla died by Mothra's baby.
So I'm just saying.
Oh,
Oh
it's
god,
so bad.
this is good. GameSpy said that praised the large lineup as a playable kaiju as ample fan service, while showing disappointment over the new original kaiju, Obsidius and Crystalic, being a shame that these guys made the cut while classic foes like Hedorah and Batra are MIA, or confined to the PS2 version, because Batra was on PS2.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing. Yeah, why would you make your own monsters when there's so many? in
There's
the
already
Godzilla
so
universe?
many to pick. I think their thought process was that, we'll just make 2 new ones. Nobody will notice.
I know, and it's not like you couldn't afford the rights. You've had the rights. You were talking with Toho the entire time you were doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have just done it.
It's funny.
It's called Godzilla Unleashed.
Either way,
It's supposed to kill us.
so some of the bad things was that it felt like a step backwards from Save the Earth. There was a story praised. There was a large roster praised. If you didn't play this on the Wii, it was not. It was literally a repeat of Save the Earth. So the reason it got so much negative praise is that, or negative review, is because it just wasn't different. It got boring real quick. Which is interesting because I felt like I believe I played this one the second longest out of the 3. So it's very interesting that that's a thing that people say. I believe also the making characters available for this version definitely hurted it. Because, like, I want to play as King Caesar, but I don't want to play this game on the Wii.
Yeah, I don't want to buy a whole fucking console to play a specific character.
Guys, King Caesar's on the Wii. Sell the PS3. Let's go. And then only play one game and then hate it.
Yep.
Yeah, and then be like, maybe it'll be alright with that character that I really wanted to play.
Yeah, this has got the
And it's
worst
not.
reviews out of all of them. Like, GameSpot
Really?
gave it 1 star, IGN gave it 3 out of 10, Nintendo 3 out of 10,
Oh,
Metacritic
wait,
gave it a 28
just-
out of
just-
100.
Not even going into gameplay, just like talking about the fucking lineup and like how scuffed it is.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to
Yeah,
talk about the gameplay? Guess what? Nothing's different. There you go.
Nothing's
It's
different.
literally
did they
saved the Earth with a bigger roster.
did they still
No,
have the
it's-
bug where if you got knocked down, you couldn't use your specials?
I have no idea. You'd have to go play it again.
I'm
not going to.
yeah,
I'm not down.
I'm not buying that game.
Either way, this was definitely, like I said in the beginning, the weakest of the trilogy, and unfortunately, this was the last one until 2014.
Shut up. We don't talk about it.
We'll quickly go over 2014. First off, I don't even consider it a fighting game because it's got bare bone mechanics. There's no block, and the balance
literally-
against upgraded monsters versus basic monsters is atrocious. That is all I wanted to say. Yeah, I still bought this game for $80 because
Yeah, you nailed it in 1 too.
I will say though, $80 for this game. This game, they didn't release a lot of copies for this game, so the fact that we were able to snatch it for $80, we got lucky.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
I saw some prices after I bought it. People want fucking hundreds. Someone wanted $2,000 for this game.
For
This
a
game
shitty game.
has become very rare, and when our PS4 finally dies, I can't wait to sell it and make all the money back and plus some. Fucking gonna
You
sell
could buy
this shit
yourself
for
a new
800.
PS4.
I can buy a PS5 selling one game.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very
Or I'll
good.
just buy a new graphics card and stay away from console.
Good luck
trash.
with that graphics card buying thing.
We'll
though.
figure it out. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say because, like I said, I don't consider it a fighting game. I consider it a generator destroying simulator.
It's a Rampage in Godzilla universe.
It's just bad. So we've
It's-
already
it's
talked
terrible.
about Rampage.
Please don't compare it to Rampage.
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna say
sorry,
at least
I-
Rampage was good. Even the
Rampage
3D
was good.
version was good.
Yeah. At least Rampage was fun.
Yeah, at least it had a story.
So another game that I just want to bring up. Not everyone here has played it. In fact, I have personally not played it, but I've seen it. Other games, just so this isn't just Godzilla only. Other games, I don't know the details about it, but like Jurassic Park actually dived into this as well. They made Warpath Jurassic Park, which was basically a dinosaur fighting game. I heard it was all right, honestly.
Yeah, they made a mobile game that was kind of like that too.
Yep. So that was good to hear. The last thing I have on my agenda for this is that I just wanted to talk about. So now let's talk about one of the other things. Why did fighting games die? If
Monster
anyone
fighting
wants-
games.
Yeah, why did monster fighting games die? If anyone wants to go first on their theory, because my theory is pretty long, but I've been talking a lot and I need a second.
I think we'll let guys go first if you got one.
I have two ideas. I feel like obviously 2014 and also basically the games following up to it, like the Wii version and all that shit, all that stuff. I think kind of killed off the hype because it's just bad business practices and bad games. I think also it might have been a product of the generation.
Mm.
Like we kind of get all hyped as fuck over a new Godzilla movie, but like I feel like people younger than us might not give a shit.
Mm.
I mean, obviously there will be exceptions. Like
Yeah, there will be exceptions to that.
yeah, because I mean, I like shit that that's older than me, and I don't like shit that's younger than me, etc., etc. But I feel like largely the attraction to big monsters beating the shit out of each other is more or less product of generation. I feel like our generation was more, and largely the generation before us, were more into where it was more of like a cultural thing, and
Yeah.
then as we got our generation being the last enjoy of like fans of it. Once we got past the age where like because now that we're older and like we're all living on our own and shit, or mostly living on our own, we don't really have time to play games as much.
Mm.
So we don't want to play games that require us to get good, essentially, like fighting games. We want to play games where we can just kind of hop in, do shit, hop out.
Yeah.
So like the demand for it kind of sharply went down.
Yeah, and adding to that whole the first thing you said about them killing their own hype kind of deal, like the hype dying out. They kind of did kill it themselves because there were only one or two monster fighting games that actually even came close to expectations. A lot of them kind of just didn't meet that bar that they set for themselves and ended up being like they kind of turned into flops. So people don't expect a good fighting game for like monster fighting games. Like Rampage was good. Yes, it was great. But that was at a time where video games were kind of like just becoming big things, so there wasn't really anybody to follow the hype there. And then as games got more advanced, the executions of monster fighting games kind of got they didn't really meet the expectations they set for themselves. They didn't really
Yeah,
fill
like
their own
they
shoes.
they didn't evolve with the times. They just kind of stagnated in how they were developed. They just looked nicer.
Yeah, they just kind of upped the graphics thing. But I do before we get to Juby's big ass theory that he's apparently got ready. I
It's
do
not
want to
that big.
mention that it's not that big, but this is gonna be quick. That there are still big monster things in some more recent games. Like I know in this is gonna kind of give you the taste of the games I play. Dark Souls, they have like larger creatures that you fight, but you don't play as them, which is like disappointing. But um, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, a game I have played quite a bit. There are mechanics that let you become a gigantic creature, but they don't really change the shift. It's a fighting game that you can become a giant creature in or fight against other giant creatures as a giant creature, but they don't really change what you can do. It mainly just you get big and you punch stuff. So they still kind of pop up every now and then, the mechanics of a giant monster fighting game, but they don't really build upon it.
Both are fantastic theories, by the way, and I agree with a good chunk of those. So the only thing I really want to add to my theory on why these are done is guys already touched on it. I do believe that it was kind of a generational thing, especially with video games being relatively new, especially 3D. Like when the GameCube came out, 3D was still relatively new when it came to games being on the 3D platform. Um, but fighting games have been around since the original gaming days, Mortal Kombat, basically. So I think what happened was that Pipeworks Studio, with the terrible release of Godzilla Unleashed, and by the way, I'm just going by reviews for that. I didn't think it was that bad when I was a kid, but maybe if I replayed it again, I'd hate it. Only time will tell. So when it came to Pipeworks, I think with the terrible release of Godzilla Unleashed, according to reviewers, that kind of stopped people from wanting to play these games. These games were released relatively close to each other,
Yeah,
2004, 2007, and then God, I don't know what Godzilla Unleashed was. I believe it was 2009.
Godzilla Unleashed was 2007.
Okay, so either way, okay, there we go. 2002 was Destroy All Monsters. 2004 was Save the Earth, and then 2007. So Godzilla Unleashed had a little bit more time in the oven. Well, should have, I should say. So what I think happened is I think the decline of monsters in general are starting to slowly die down. And something to kind of help with that theory was a game called Evolve. Evolve was a terrible, boring fucking game. And I think that kind of helped with leading down, like, okay, we're sick of monsters, we're sick of monsters. Now, I believe that monster games, well, monster type S games where they appear are slowly coming back after this long hiatus. because Evolve came out in like 2015, I believe, and we haven't really seen much action of monsters since. Nothing AAA style, I guess you could say, because I know there's indie game developers out there. I believe
Yeah.
with Monster Hunter World, this is why I think they're slowly coming back. Monster Hunter World is extremely popular. And of course, monsters and colossal giants are always popular in MMORPGs.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think we'll ever see. Well, shouldn't say never. That's horrible. I don't think we'll see another monster fighting game like these Godzilla trilogies for a long time. Another reason I think that is because of Godzilla 2014. Yes, that was supposed to be for only a certain audience, but overall it had negative reviews.
Yeah.
So
Even by the people that they were trying to cater to.
yeah, so they dipped their toe in it and the shark bit. And they
Yep.
never put their toe back in. Hopefully, and as I said in the beginning, apparently there was going to be a mobile game coming out with the release of Godzilla vs. Kong. Obviously, it's a mobile game, so who cares? But the fact that was almost immediately shut down kind of shows what the developers are thinking right now with whole monster games. I personally would love to see them come back. As much as I love Mortal Kombat, I haven't played the newest one. I don't like that Jason's not in the newest one. Sorry, I'm a Jason main. Fuck off. As much as I love games like that, and For Honor, I love fighting games. You guys see For Honor on my YouTube and Twitch a lot.
Yeah.
I would love a monster fighting game again. I want to get back in the reigns of Godzilla. I want to see all these monsters updated, and I just don't want them to forget. And for the love of God, I want to see Kong in one of the games. For God's sake.
I may have something
What do you
that
mean?
could put a little bit of hope in us.
Okay.
I mentioned this before we started. There is a AAA type game in development because it will be available on all platforms like PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, called Gigabash, which is pretty much an arena fighter kind
I've
of
heard
thing.
of that.
You've heard of it.
Gigabash.
I'll quickly
might-
look it up.
It might actually.
Eh.
It looks kind of like cartoony and all that. I get that.
Oh,
like,
no,
it's
I
kinda
see
got
a
the
GIF
whole-
right here. Yeah. Hold on a minute.
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'd be down for it. They
It
have
gives me kind of like the old monster movies, like, the giant rubber suit guy.
yeah.
All right. So monster games are still around. But, yes, I've heard of this.
This is more recent than pretty much. This is 7 years after Godzilla 2014.
Yep. So,
So this is a long break, almost a full decade before anything's trying to come to the AAA section of things.
Yeah,
that are
I'm
monster
watching.
games.
I'm watching a video on it now, and I fuck with it. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I fucking like it. It's releasing this year apparently.
So here's the thing, though. If this
Yes.
game does bad, I think it's going to be over. So,
It might be over.
We will watch Gigabash with great interest. But with that being said, I have high hopes for it just from the little thing I'm looking at it right now. But I hope that this means that Godzilla, with Legendary series apparently ending with Godzilla vs. Kong, I don't know how true that is. I hope it's not. I think that means Godzilla's going on another hiatus. But I hope to God he comes back in a video game form that's not 2014! And with that being said, do you guys have any final words?
I did recall that this might sound weebish, but in the Attack on Titan games that were released officially, you could fight as a giant creature, but it's so, like, again, basic, nothing really interesting about it kind of deal.
I have a final comment.
Yes.
I want them to make a Mothra movie.
I
Another
would
one?
actually
No,
be
she died,
really down
remember?
for that.
Dude,
But
I don't care. Make it a
Hey,
spin-off.
hey, after credit scene, egg.
Yeah, but where'd the
True.
egg go? It wasn't in
Egg
Godzilla
gold,
vs. Kong!
Doesn't have to be.
egg,
They're hiding
egg went on my plate.
You ate Mothra?
it.
Yes.
Well,
No.
you fucked yourself up then.
But Mothra cannot. This is just lore things. Mothra can't officially die because before they, like, as soon as they mature, they lay an egg somewhere.
You know what'd be cool?
Okay, yeah.
If this
Yeah,
new
so
Mothra...
bam. Mothra movie. Let's
Well,
go.
Remember,
They
Make
can
it
do
uh,
it.
happen.
in the original Godzilla versus Mothra, Mothra had 2 larvae come out of the egg. It'd be interesting if 2 came out all of a sudden.
Yeah, because there's the whole Mothra
can
twins
we-
thing.
Can we get Can we get 2 Mothras?
Well, I
want
believe
2 Mothras
Batra.
trending. Let's go, everyone! Hashtag 2 Mothras.
I
Dude,
believe
I'm
Batra
glad I
was,
revived my dead Twitter account. Let's
Was
do it.
Batra was like the kind of evil version of Mothra, so it could be a Mothra v Batra.
Batra is
Could-
essentially
could we-
hey, you guys didn't listen to Mothra. Well, Mother Nature's pissed.
Yeah.
Can we have a Mothra the Batra movie?
I mean,
I feel like that would be completely
Let's-
doable.
Either way, I
Let's-
want to just add real quick.
Let's make it happen.
I hope Gigabash puts in a little. They should totally add Godzilla as a playable character, because
Oh, yeah.
Godzilla is what started these monster brawls.
Dude, they could entirely do some sort of like fucking DLC character Godzilla.
Yeah.
kind of thing
exactly.
if they
Then I'll
wanted.
pick
Yeah,
it up.
Yeah, they could probably do like a DLC where it's actually like Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh, that'd be nice.
They could, oh right, they could do something like that. That would fucking work. Put in 3 characters: Kong, Godzilla, and Mechagodzilla. That would fucking work.
Yeah,
Oh, I would love to play as a new Mechagodzilla. That'd be sick.
that would get
Oh,
it
that
the
would be
hype. That would get it the hype. It looks
People-
and
promising.
then bam, profit.
Bam,
And
prop.
it has an original cast, which means the only licensing that they have to do are the 3 characters, and if they're all owned. They can just get the license from the same company, which means they only have to do one negotiation.
Yeah,
Alright.
one negotiation. Plus, it also gets the hype back into monster movies and shit, like monster fighting games. We might get better renditions of stuff like that.
All right.
Hopefully, Gigabash doesn't crash
Yes.
or
I mean,
suck.
if it's on PC, I'll fucking get it.
It's
All
on
right.
PC, PlayStation.
Yep, we will watch Gigabash with great interest.
We shall
But
be
with that
watching
being
your
said,
career.
we have gone over everything I want to go over. Gaius, Morguir, thank you guys so much for joining me on this little journey through nostalgia with our old monster fighting games. And to all of you, I hope we kicked off some nostalgia memories for you. Have a great one, and we'll see you on the next episode.